Dear students, see, I want to put the full stop to the graphical representations of the adsorption phenomena. See, we know that extent of the or meaning of the extent of the adsorption, that is the amount of the gas adsorbed on the surface of 1 gram of the adsorbent is called as the extent of adsorption, that is x by m. It depends on the temperature and pressure, that we know. As the temperature increases, the extent of adsorption decreases. As the pressure increases, the extent of the adsorption increases. The effect of the temperature and pressure on the extent of the adsorption or adsorption is exactly opposite. See, and we can draw the different graphs between the extent of the adsorption, and we can give the relation between the extent of the adsorption and pressure. This gives the pressure effect on the adsorption. So by keeping the other parameter temperature constant, that graphical representation or mathematical expression that is derived is called as the isotherm. We discussed about the two types of isotherms. One is the empirical isotherm, that is the Freundlich isotherm. The other one is the theoretical isotherm, that is the Langmuir absorption isotherm. So that is this is the relation that we know about in detail about two isotherms. And anyhow, as the pressure increases, extent of the adsorption increases at a given temperature. And third one is and we can study the effect of the temperature on extent of adsorption. That is extent of the adsorption versus temperature by keeping the third parameter constant. Here we are establishing the relation between that is extent of adsorption and temperature by keeping the pressure constant, that is called as the isobar or isobaric relation, isobaric process. Throughout the experiment, pressure is kept constant. So this is temperature. As the temperature increases, this is isobaric. So now we have to consider the adsorption isobars. And next one is the temperature versus pressure. What is the relation between the temperature versus pressure, that is and pressure, if this is constant, x by m is constant. So that is extent of the adsorption. In order to maintain that is same extent of adsorption, what is the relation between the temperature and pressure? You increase the temperature, extent of adsorption decreases. So in order to maintain the same extent of the adsorption, increase the pressure. So the relation, this is called as adsorption isosteric. And this is this part over, and now we have to consider the isobar and isosteric. See, even in this case of the adsorption isotherm, the leftover part is see, at a given temperature we have seen the graph, Freundlich graph. This is the adsorption isotherm. This is x by m versus pressure at a particular temperature. Suppose if the same experiment is carried at different temperatures, the adsorption of the nitrogen is considered on the charcoal, activated charcoal, at different temperatures. That is adsorption isotherms only. This is other one. This is the third one. The trend is same. So this is at T1, this is at T2, this is at T3. This is minus 78, minus, that is 29 degrees Celsius. This is 0 degrees Celsius for nitrogen gas. See, you know that as the temperature decreases, that is the extent of the adsorption increases. So at a given temperature, you see, This is the temperature at this temperature. For if the experiment is carried at the 0 degree Celsius, the extent of absorption is this. It is carried at the and minus 29. This is the extent of absorption. This is the extent of absorption. X by m. As the temperature decreases, X by m is, as the temperature decreases, X by m is increasing. This is here, that is T3, T1 is greater than T2 is greater than T3. So lower the temperature, higher the extent of absorption. For same nitrogen gas and charcoal, extent of absorption is measured under different temperature conditions. So this is isotherm, this is isotherm, this is isotherm, but different temperatures. So this is the case. So with this we can tell that as the temperature increases, extent of absorption decreases. So next one is the isobar. What is called as the isobar? What is the absorption? Isobar. So now we are determined the pressure is kept constant. So that is, see, we are determining the relation between the extent of absorption and temperature at a fixed pressure. As the temperature increases, extent of absorption decreases. Isobaric relation. This is the Y. Y, as the temperature increases, this is the X by m. This is the temperature. Pressure is constant. Isobaric process. What happens? As the temperature, this is the absorption. See, on the surface of the catalyst, the adsorbent, gas is adsorbed. As the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of these are all loosely bounded to the surface of the catalyst. Sorry, catalyst or adsorbent is one and same in heterogeneous catalysis. See, attached to the surface of the adsorbent with very, very weak attractions. See, as you increase the thermal energy of the molecules or kinetic energy of the molecules increases. Due to the increase in the thermal energy, the molecules are getting the sufficient energy to overcome the attractions that are established between the adsorbent surface and adsorbate molecule. Therefore, the molecule become free. So that is as the temperature increases, so rate of desorption increases. Desorption is an endothermic process. Adsorption is an exothermic process. As increase the temperature, endothermic process is promoted, exothermic process is retarded, decreased. So rate of adsorption decreases, rate of desorption increases, therefore gradually extent of adsorption decreases. Therefore, at low temperature conditions, it is more. As the temperature increases, that is adsorption, extent of adsorption decreases. Temperature is increasing along the x-axis. That is X by m is the extent of adsorption gradually decreases. This is the adsorption isobar. All observations are made at constant pressure conditions. Now we are establishing the relation between the extent of adsorption and temperature. This is the graphical representation of the molecule. Right? Next one. See, if the different pressure, it is said about it is at P1. So at the P2, same relation, P2, what happens? This is the case. At P3, this is the case. Different pressures. This is one experiment at P3, this is one experiment at P2, this is the relation. What is happening? As the pressure increases, then what happens? Extent of adsorption increases. Therefore, here in this graph, these are the adsorption isobars under different pressure conditions. See, in the previous graph, they are the adsorption isotherms at different temperatures. This is different pressures. Therefore, what should be the relation between the P1, P2, P3? See, at a given temperature, this is the and X by M for this. This is the X by m for this. This is the X by M for this. This is the, see, at P3 it is more, P2 it is relatively less, but more than P1. Therefore, the relation between the P1, P2, P3 should be, P1 should be less than that of P2, should be less than that of P3. Higher the pressure, greater the extent of adsorption. Right? Greater the extent of adsorption. So these are all the, that is adsorption isobars under different pressure conditions. So that is this is the adsorption isobar. The third thing is the other graphical representation is the relation between the temperature and that is the pressure of the gas. So that is keeping the x by m constant. That is so now we are trying to maintain the same extent of adsorption and at different temperature and different pressure conditions. You know that the effect of the temperature and the effect of the pressure on the adsorption or extent of the adsorption. See, here what happens, as the temperature increases, x by m decreases. As the pressure increases, x by m increases. Now, the decreasing effect of the temperature, that is on adsorption is nullified by increasing the pressure of the gas. Now, if you take that relation is called as the isosteric. This is temperature, or you can take the anything. This is the pressure of the this one. X by m is constant. That is, it is called as the adsorption isosteric. X by m is constant. So now what happens, as the temperature increases, the decrease decreases, as the pressure increases. So gradually what happens, that is this increases. This is the increasing trend. X by m is constant. X by m is constant. So this is called as the isosteric adsorption isosteric. See, these are the different graphs that are involved in that is the adsorption. Adsorption isotherms, adsorption isobars, adsorption isosteric. So next one is and there are actually really 5 types of the graphs, adsorption isotherms. So only we have taken the type 1 adsorption curve, where that is the Langmuir proposed adsorption curve, isotherm. But see, if you increase the pressure, so multi-layer formation takes place. So when multi-layer formation takes place, so first layer is formed, monolayer is formed, over the monolayer second layer is formed, over the second layer third layer is formed, over that fourth layer is formed. Therefore, as we increase the pressure, that is more and more and more and more adsorption. So up to certain point it constant, then at higher pressure gradually increases due to the formation of the monolayer. So that is a different story. That's the now. So this is the graphs related to the adsorption. So next one is this is and desorption. This is the activation energy of the desorption. Energy of desorption. This is and activation energy of the desorption and average energy lifetime. Lifetime of adsorbate molecule. Tau. See, let us see. So now we are applying the kinetics of the reaction. This is the catalyst, this is the adsorbent. A molecule is attached to the surface of the adsorbent. Adsorbate molecule is attached. You know that very weak attractions are establishing between the surface of the adsorbate and adsorbent and molecule of the adsorbent. Very loosely connected. The attraction is very, very less. So it is energy needed to detach from the surface of the adsorbent is very, very less. Therefore, this is adsorption. Adsorbate molecules are adsorbed on the surface of this. They are dissolved. Adsorption, desorption. Now, what we are doing? The time spent by the adsorbate molecule on the surface of the adsorbent is very, very less. Very less. It obeys this desorption process or adsorption process obeys that is Arrhenius type equation. You know, for kinetics, Arrhenius type equation is K is equal to A into e to the power of minus EA by RT. K is the rate constant of the reaction, is an exponential constant, pre-exponential constant. EA is the activation energy of the forward reaction, and this is the temperature of the system. This is our regular kinetic equation, or equation that is used in the kinetics. Modification of there is a want of isotope. So whatever it is for the reaction. Now we are considering the desorption, time spent by the molecule on the surface of the catalyst or surface of the adsorbent. For this, what can I write for the desorption process? This is the adsorption process. K desorption is equal to A corresponding A e to the power of minus EA by RT. This is the rate constant for the K is the rate constant of desorption. I am taking the desorption. EA is the activation energy of backward process, that is a desorption. Desorption rate constant, desorption activation energy, that is additional energy needed for the molecules to detach from the surface of the adsorbent. This is. But you know that is the K is the rate constant, 1 by K is the reciprocal of the rate constant is the average life of the reaction, or that is the average life of the reaction, which is denoted with tau. Reciprocal of the rate constant is called as the average life of the reaction. So here, now take the word reciprocal. 1 by K is equal to 1 by K desorption is equal to tau. 1 by A is equal to tau naught. This is also rate constant when the EA is 0 or T is infinity, that we discussed in the kinetics. Now take the reciprocal of this. Then what happens if you take reciprocal of this? What happens? That is and 1 by K desorption is equal to 1 by see, that is the, instead of writing this I can write this. This is tau is equal to 1 by K. This is tau naught into e to the power of reciprocal, that is EA by RT. Now it is in terms of that is average life of the adsorbate molecule is equal to the standard average life, that is the tau naught into e to the power of EA is the desorption energy, that is activation energy of the desorption process. This is the T is the temperature of the surface on which it is adsorbed. So now the converting to this relation, reciprocal of this is equal to this, and that is 1 by A, 1 by this. So this is equal to negative side is gone. That is, this is the case. Now this is average life of the molecule, adsorbed molecule. Tau naught is the average life of the molecule when the activation energy is 0. T is the temperature, that is for which this is, at which the water desorption is taking place. Now by using this, that is, we can take the logarithmic relation ln tau is equal to ln tau naught, that is plus EA by RT, logarithmic expression. See, it is not for the rate constant, it is for the reciprocal of the rate constant. Remember, that's why instead of minus plus sign. This is, now you write the ln T1 tau 1 is equal to ln tau naught plus EA by R T1, temperature T1. ln T2 tau 2 is equal to ln tau naught plus EA by T2. See, I told you, tau 1 is the average life of the molecule, adsorbed molecule, that is when the temperature is T1. Tau 2 is the average life of the time for which that held on the surface, average life of the adsorbed molecule, that is and that required for the desorption, that is when the temperature is T2. Now this is 1, this is 2, from 2 1 is subtracted, therefore ln tau 2 by ln tau 1 is equal to, that is cancelled, that is and EA by R into 1 by T2 minus 1 by T1. This is T1 into T2 by minus. See, now this is the case, and this is integrated form of it is looking like an Arrhenius equation. The integrated form of that is Van 't Hoff equation. This is that is average life of the adsorbate molecule when temperature is T1. This is the average life of the adsorbate molecule when the temperature is T2. EA is the activation energy of the desorption. This is for EA is the activation energy of desorption. T1, T2 are the different temperatures. So if you know that is average life at T1 temperature and average life at T2 temperature, you can evaluate from that data you can evaluate that is activation energy of the desorption. That is, this equation, by using this Arrhenius type equation, you can find out the activation energy of the desorption, provided if you know that is tau at two different temperatures, that is average life of the adsorbate molecule at two different temperatures, T1 tau 1, T2 tau 2, then you can find out this one. According to this relation, we can say that, we can say that That is this relation. We can say that as the activation energy increases, activation energy of the desorption increases. That is the tau value increases. That is no last thing. A into desorption, A into K desorption, right? So that equation is gone. That is tau is equal to tau naught into e to the power of EA by RT. This is the equation, reciprocal of this. See, this is as the activation energy increases, the average life increases. Activation energy of desorption increases, average life increases. As the temperature increases, the average life decreases. It's this is the logarithmic form of this equation, right? So that is the relation. By using this equation, activation energy of the desorbate molecule can be determined. That's all. This is the